Hi, my name's Zach, and today I'll be walking you through my portfolio site. So over here, we just have a screenshot of my homepage. So the overview for my presentation will be I'll be going over the purpose/target audience for my site, my color scheming, my design considerations, my sitemap, and my wireframes, and a few screenshots. And lastly, I'll finish with some of the challenges that I faced making this portfolio. So, purpose and target audience. So, the purpose for my portfolio is to display my projects over the coming year, both in the course and personal projects that I complete. And the target audience for that, of course, will be potential employers, other engineers that happen to stumble across my site, recruiters, and of course, fellow enthusiasts as well. So for my sitemap, so pretty basic site. So I've got four pages, well, 5 pages technically. But so I've got my home page, and that links to my about page and my blog page, my contact page, and my home page also links directly to my resume through a button that I've created for my resume. And my blog page, of course, shows previews for 5 blog articles, which each individually link to their own blog page. So design considerations. So I wanted my color palette to conform to my avatar, which we'll see in a moment. And I wanted to go for a more minimalist design. So I opted to give the nav and footers no background shading, really. And I accepted mobile view, sorry, for my nav bar. But yeah, I wanted whatever was in my main to be the focus for the viewer. So here's my color palette. So we've got a few different shades. A off-white shade that's not very different from the white, of course, but I've used my this off-white shade as my background color. My primary color for my headers and my navs, for example, is that dark bluish color. I use the green color as well for my buttons and also for my name in the corner, which we'll see on all my sites as well. And of course, I use a dark gray color for my text in all my pages. And yeah, we can take a look at the avatar there, and you can see where I got the color palette from essentially. The avatar was actually AI generated, which is pretty cool. Wireframes. So my homepage on mobile is pretty straightforward. So we've got my name in the corner and a hamburger menu in the top right corner. I've just got my hero image at the top, followed by a brief introduction to myself, and then followed by some previews of my 5 blog articles, followed by a button which takes you to the actual blog page and my footer, of course. And on the right, we can see what my homepage looks like once we open up the hamburger menu as well. Similar story in regards to the hamburger menu on my about page and on all my pages, really. My about page is pretty straightforward as well. Just the hero image, about me title, and a bit of text about myself and my footer components at the bottom. Similar with my blog, similar to my homepage in regards to my containers for the blog previews. And the blog page is essentially a enlarged version of the blog container with some slight differences in styling, just to account for the fact that it's obviously a full article as opposed to a little preview card. My contact pages are pretty straightforward as well. In mobile view, my social icons, which are in a flex column, will turn into a flex row display in our desktop view, tablet view. And with regards to desktop and tablet layouts, I went with pretty much the same layout for most pages. I just made it more responsive to the increasing screen size between tablet and desktop, just because at least on my iPad, I saw that my desktop layout, my tablet layouts, excuse me, my desktop layout fit pretty well inside my tablet as well, but I've obviously just made it more responsive to increasing screen sizes for people with much larger screens, like ultra wide screens and whatnot. And I changed the flex direction for my contact page social icons from column, as mentioned earlier, to row. So yeah, that's what my homepage looks like. on my desktop and tablet view, my about page, my blog page, and my blogs and articles page. I just made that more responsive for larger screen sizes as well, and my contact page as well. I just made it display my social icons in a row as opposed to a column. Now my components, I use some graphical and text components as required for the assignment, and I tried to make my components as minimalist as I can, really, just to keep with the minimalist design that I was going for. So sorry for the grainy image, but we've got my nav bar for my mobile, and also for the actual nav menu when you click the hamburger menu on all my pages on mobile. Similar story with my nav bar for desktop and tablet. So I opted for no background shading, simply so that I can try to keep it as minimalist as possible. So I've got my hero banner here. I wouldn't call it a component since it's not something I reuse, but I just thought I would include it in my slides. And it's same with my hero text component. Now my blog preview component there is what we see on my homepage to contain a preview of all of my blog articles, and you also see it in my actual blog page as well. And there's the actual article page for each individual blog. Just slight differences in the styling, of course, and my footer components. So I wanted to keep everything as minimalist as possible in regards to my headers and footers and whatnot, just so that the main elements inside my page was the focus. And there's a copyright component, screenshots. So we've got mobile view, and desktop/tablet views. So learning experiences. The design process is actually very critical. I made some pretty big mistakes early on. I generally struggled with this assignment on top of other things going on. But I think a lot of my actual assignment struggles could have actually been prevented by going with a components first and definitely a mobile first design. So I did not go with a mobile first design, which ended up with a lot of patchwork code, basically, because I had to rewrite a lot of stuff. And I realized that I'm better off actually just starting from scratch and going with mobile first. And that the fundamentals save you a lot of time. But thanks for listening to my presentation.